Hi, this is Pearl and welcome to my channel. Today I have for you a process video of my week 43 of my 2020 Project Life album. I am using the Studio Calico Documenter Kit for the month of October. I have printed all my pictures out using the Epson PM400 and I use photo paper from Costco to print these out because the Costco papers are thicker than the Epson pictures. And as I print the pictures out, I do go ahead and use a Sharpie and date them on the back because I like to have my pictures in semi-chronological order when I lay them out on my layout. I do use a cardboard paper and I have drawn the grid of design A onto two white cardstocks so that I know what the design is so I don't have to take the photos in and out of the page protectors as I'm working on them. Now I did use a tonic guillotine to cut the photos, the ones that I'm using as 3x4s. And now I'm going through the 4x6 journaling cards to see what to use because I have one 4x6 photo that I'm using a 3x4 picture for on the top right hand side. And then I go through the journaling cards, the 3x4 cards, to see which ones I need for journaling and which ones I need for filler cards. The very left filler card, or the very left 3x4 card, excuse me, is always my title card. And there I just always put the week number it is because I do date every single photo and journaling card that I journal on. So sometimes I think I should use stamps that say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but I've just been using a date stamp for the past 11 years, so I've just kept to that. So I'm going through the journaling cards and then I'm going to go ahead and start working on the layout after I figure out which cards I'm going to use. And I do work on the left-hand side of my layout first. Now I am using a stamp, it says autumn on there, and I'm using the VersaFine ink pad because the VersaFine does such a great job of doing fine detailing, and it says autumn on there. And I think this is a stamp set from the Ali Edwards Stories by the Month kit because I do also subscribe to her as well, and I use her kit for the first week of every month. Now I'm using Felicity Jane Alpha Numerics stickers to put 43 on that very left 3x4 card. And then this 4x6 card I am date stamping with the One Canoe 2 date stamp and using the StazOn Blank ink pad. Now on this journaling card I am using my vintage Sarasa dark gray pen to journal. I like to use gray pen instead of black to journal because it's not as stark yet it's still very readable. And so what I wrote on here is, whenever it's time to bake banana muffins, Uni and Kaya always want to help. I wish I liked to cook so I could teach the kids to cook. And so the kids are baking banana muffins with me this morning for breakfast. And so I journal that, and then I'm also going to date stamp that. Then I'm working on this next photo, and I am using a label. And the labels I use as a print and cut file from the Studio Calico kit, and the colors of the labels match the kit perfectly. So I always purchase that. I think it's $1.99, and I print and cut them using my Silhouette. And on this one I wrote, why is it such a chore to go through mail? Because I'm going through my mail and I'm watching YouTube at the same time. And then I date stamp that and also staple that using a tiny attacher. Now the bottom photo is of my son at Wetzel's Pretzels, and I wrote on the journaling card, excuse me, on the label, Wetzel's Pretzels after therapy, and I'm going to date stamp that using the One Canoe 2 date stamp. I got it uneven, so I repositioned that stamp, and I'm using, or the label, and I'm using the Tim Holtz mini snips to cut off the edge of the label because I like things hanging off the edge. And then I'm going to use a tiny attacher to staple that as well to give it added dimension. Now on the very last photo, the bottom right hand side, I'm using a label to journal on this card as well. And I wrote school supply pickup for Uni, one downside to online school. And the reason I say that is because my kids go to a school that's half an hour away. So when we had to do online school, we would have to pick up school supplies, and I'd have to drive half an hour there to pick them up and half an hour back. But that's okay. I'm so happy with the charter school that my kids are at. So I finished the left-hand side of the photo of the layout. Then I'm going to use some bow stickers that came with the kit, and I'm just going to put some on this layout. Then I'm going to go ahead and decide if I want to do another stamp, and I'm using the stamp that says October Stories Make My Heart, and I wipe the stamp with my hand to get the debris off, and I'm using the StazOn ink to stamp that onto the photo of my son making muffins, and I'm using a stamp chamois to clean that off. I do wish the StazOn ink would stamp better on photos, so if you guys have any suggestions on how to do that, please let me know. I would greatly appreciate it. Okay, I'm moving on to the right hand side of my photo, and I am trimming this picture of the Louis Vuitton and champagne picture so that I took off the white border. I'm using my Coquio adhesive to adhere that down onto the 4x6 card. I'm using the Ali Edwards stamp set from the Celebrate Story Kit, and I am going to use a VersaFine black ink to stamp Celebrating onto this journaling card so I can journal. And I journal using the Great Pen 49. Today is my birthday. I thought I would get a new handbag for my birthday. Instead, I came out with the LV ring and a bottle of champagne. They were so nice once they found out it was my birthday that they gave me a bottle of Moet champagne after I finished my shopping. Isn't that so generous? And I did end up saving that champagne to drink with my friends on the weekend when we were celebrating my birthday. So I did journal that, and I'm going to date stamp that using the One Canoe 2 date stamp, using the StazOn ink. Now, I also date stamped that photo of the kids and me celebrating my birthday that night. I do have this picture of the coffee machine and my cup. I cannot live without coffee. I cannot. Then I'm also date stamping the rest of the photos, and I do close up my StazOn ink because it tends to dry out, and I've re-inked that so many times. I think it may be time for me to get another ink pad, but I'm just trying to re-ink it. I'm using the Celebrate Good Times stamp from the Ali Edwards Celebrate Stamp Story Kit, and I'm journaling on here. I invited the Bijans and Riziks to come over, which somehow turned into Bijan cooking a Persian dinner for us. He's such a great cook. The food was delicious, was absolutely delicious. So grateful for good friends. So I invited my friends to come over for dinner, and it ended up, my friends ended up cooking for me because they knew it was my birthday, so it kind of got turned around, which is so funny because whenever we invite the Bijans to come over, Bijan will bring tons of food over and help cook. That's the kind of friends I need because I'm not a big cook. So I go ahead and date stamp that as well. And then after that, I'm going to go through my embellishments to see what other embellishments I can use for this kit. And one of the things that I don't use, and I think I mentioned this in a previous process video, is all the diamond shapes that came with this project, or the documented kit from the Studio Calico Project Life kit. I have a really hard time using those diamond chipboard shapes, but I go ahead and put some gold ribbons onto the photos and some of the journaling cards, and then I'm going to try to use up some of the diamonds on the left 3x4 card of the right hand side of my page. I'm just using my Coquio adhesive to adhere them down and leave some space in between, and I'm having them go off of the 3x4 card, and I will cut those off, the edges off, so that they look like they're hanging off the edge of the journaling card. After I do that, I'm also going to get some chipboards from the Ali Edwards Story Kit, and I am going to use Heart Autumn for the picture on the bottom left hand side. I'm also going to stamp that with this Food, Friends, and Sunshine. And I'm going to use another chipboard for So Ready for Sweater Weather on the picture of my girlfriends and myself. So there you have it. That is my layout. I hope you enjoyed this video and this process of going through all of this. Thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know every time I upload a new video, and I'll see you next time.